Welcome back to Telecom Jamaica. Today, we're tracing the evolution of LTE in Jamaica, from Digicel's spectrum breakthrough to Caricel's bold experiment to Flow's fight for parity. How did each operator shape the 4G era? And what lessons does it hold for our mobile future? Every mobile revolution begins with a milestone. In Jamaica, the first step toward 4G LTE was the Spectrum Award, the legal right to use the airwaves. In April 2014, the Spectrum Management Authority granted Digicel access to the prized 700 MHz band. This was a regulatory breakthrough, giving Digicel the essential airspace to transmit its next-generation service. But at that point, the spectrum was just potential. No towers had been built, no customers could connect. It was simply the legal foundation for what was to come. The second milestone was the commercial launch, the operational reality. This is when the promises of spectrum turn into service. After more than 2 years of preparation, Digicel officially went live with 4G LTE on the 700 MHz band in June 2016. That gap was not wasted time. It was the rollout phase, clearing old analog TV signals from the band, importing new antennas and radios, installing base stations across the island, upgrading core switches and data centers, and ensuring billing systems could handle new LTE plans. Finally, after rigorous testing, Jamaicans could buy a device, sign up for a plan, and experience true 4G speeds. Why did it take so long? Because building a nationwide LTE network is more than flipping a switch. It requires refarming spectrum, deploying hundreds of cell sites, and integrating the new 4G layer with existing 2G and 3G networks. Only then could LTE deliver on its promise of faster internet, video streaming, and mobile broadband that rivaled fixed connections. Fast forward to 2025, and Digicel's LTE strategy has evolved into a multi-band layered approach. The foundation remains the 700 MHz band, prized for its wide coverage and deep indoor penetration. But Digicel quickly added AWS, the 1700-2100 MHz band, to boost urban capacity. Over time, it refarmed older GSM and UMTS spectrum to expand LTE further. The 1900 MHz band now provides extra speed in dense areas. The 850 MHz band, once central to Digicel's 3G UMTS network, inherited from Claro or MyPhone, has been repurposed for LTE and VO LTE, carrying voice traffic while filling coverage gaps. And in Kingston's busiest districts, Digicel deploys the high-capacity 2500-2600 MHz band, delivering the fastest peak speeds for streaming and large downloads. The key innovation tying all of this together is carrier aggregation. This technology allows a phone to connect to multiple bands at once, combining 700, AWS, 1900, and more, like widening a pipe to let more data flow. The result is dramatically faster speeds, greater reliability, and the ability to serve Jamaica's growing demand for mobile broadband. From Spectrum Award in 2014 to commercial launch in 2016 to today's multi-band LTE strategy, Digicel's journey shows how regulatory milestones, engineering challenges, and technological inheritance, including its 3G legacy from Claro or MyPhone, all converge to shape the mobile experience we rely on every day.
Caricel's LTE journey was one of bold ambition and complex challenges. It began in October 2015 when Symbiote Investments applied to the Spectrum Management Authority for a domestic mobile spectrum license in the prized 700 MHz band. By May 2016, the Cabinet of Jamaica approved the award of a third mobile license, granting Caricel the legal right to operate. The company paid over 20 million US dollars for the license and spectrum, marking a historic moment. Jamaica's third licensed operator was officially born. In August 2016, reports from the Office of the Contractor General raised questions about the licensing process, and by September, the minister formally issued Caricel's spectrum license, subject to strict conditions. With that, Caricel moved forward. By late 2016 and early 2017, the company launched Jamaica's first LTE-only network. But unlike Digicel and Flow, this was not a mobile service built for nationwide voice and roaming. Caricel's product was fixed wireless access, using LTE technology to deliver high-speed broadband to homes and businesses in Kingston and along the North Coast. For the first time, Jamaicans experienced a provider built entirely around 4G LTE for data, without legacy 2G or 3G layers. In March 2018, the Minister of Science, Energy and Technology disclosed that the government was proceeding with steps to revoke Caricel's license following recommendations from the Office of Utilities Regulation. By early 2019, the license was formally revoked and Caricel ceased operations. The official reasoning cited non-compliance with license conditions, including financial obligations, governance concerns, and questions about spectrum usage. While the details were complex, the outcome was clear. Jamaica's third operator exited the market after only a brief but impactful run. How did Caricel acquire its spectrum in the first place? The 700 MHz band was divided into blocks. Digicel had already secured the largest block in 2014. In 2016, the SMA made a smaller block available for a new entrant, and Caricel successfully bid for it. When Caricel's license was later revoked, this block was returned to the regulator and eventually acquired by Flow, giving them long-awaited access to low-band spectrum. Caricel's LTE story is remembered as Jamaica's experiment with a pure 4G operator. Though short-lived, it demonstrated the possibilities of LTE-based fixed wireless access and reshaped the spectrum landscape, paving the way for Flow to strengthen its coverage and for Digicel to expand its own LTE ambitions. It remains a chapter of bold vision, regulatory complexity, and lasting impact on Jamaica's mobile future.
Flow's LTE story in Jamaica is one of persistence, adaptation, and eventual parity. It begins in Phase 1 between 2014 and 2016, when the Spectrum Management Authority granted Flow, then operating as Lime and Cable and Wireless Jamaica, approval to refarm portions of its existing spectrum. Instead of winning new spectrum at auction, Flow was allowed to repurpose its AWS band at 1700, 2100 MHz and its 1900 MHz 3G holdings for LTE. This was a clever regulatory move, giving Flow the legal right to modernize without fresh spectrum purchases. By late 2016, Flow officially launched its 4G LTE service in the Kingston metropolitan area. The rollout was built on the AWS band, which offered a strong balance of speed and device compatibility, especially with handsets coming from the United States and Central America. Soon after, Flow integrated the 1900 MHz band into its LTE network, adding capacity in high traffic zones and supplementing AWS coverage. This marked the company's first operational LTE footprint, but it was still missing the low-band advantage that Digicel had secured years earlier. Phase 2 tells the story of how Flow finally acquired low-band spectrum. In the 2014 auction, Digicel won the prized 700 MHz band, leaving Flow without access to that critical coverage layer. It wasn't until after 2019, when Caricel's license was revoked, that Flow was able to acquire 700 MHz spectrum, specifically band 12. This was a turning point. For the first time, Flow could deploy LTE on a band that provided wide area coverage and deep building penetration. Beginning in 2020, Flow rolled out 700 MHz LTE nationwide, dramatically improving rural service and strengthening indoor signals in cities. This move was essential for achieving parity with Digicel's superior low-band coverage. Phase 3 brings us to 2025, where Flow operates a fully multi-band LTE network. The 700 MHz band now serves as the reliable base layer, ensuring coverage across Jamaica. The AWS band at 1700-2100 MHz remains the primary high-speed layer in urban centers, often deployed with wide channel bandwidths for peak performance. The 1900 MHz band supplements capacity in dense traffic zones, while the 850 MHz refarmed from older 3G holdings enhances coverage reliability and carries voice over LTE VoLTE traffic. In fact, the activation of voice over LTE in 2023 was a milestone, allowing all calls to ride on the efficient 4G network, freeing up 3G for data and delivering crystal clear HD voice quality. Flow's LTE strategy today relies heavily on carrier aggregation. By combining mid-band spectrum like AWS and 1900 MHz with low-band layers such as 700 and 850, Flow creates a much wider data pipe. The result is competitive speeds in cities, reliable indoor connections, and strong rural coverage. From refarming approvals in 2014 to the AWS launch in 2016, to finally acquiring 700 MHz after Caricel's fall in 2019, Flow's LTE journey reflects resilience and evolution. It is the story of a network that fought to catch up and, by 2025, stands as a layered modern system built for speed, capacity, and coverage across Jamaica.
So, what does Jamaica's LTE story teach us? Digicel built the foundation, Caricel proved the possibilities, and Flow fought to catch up. Together, their journeys show that resilience, regulation, and innovation all shape the networks we rely on. And as LTE continues to evolve, Jamaica's mobile future rests on coverage, affordability, and readiness for the next leap. Thank you for watching. Follow Telecom Jamaica on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Telecom Jamaica for mobile technology and evolution explained.